Friends, hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the Curvy E Chronicles. My name is Courtney and we are cooking our meal plan today. Let's do it. Okay, friends, because this week is a no dad dinner week, I'm adding in some extras. So I had a question on how I make bread every week. So I follow this really easy recipe. So this is doubled, but we're taking 2 cups of water, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and 5.5 teaspoons of yeast. And we're going to let that sit and get nice and bubbly for like 10 to 15 minutes. For some reason, this yeast is like on top of it, so it usually only takes about the 10. Make sure you mix it. Once it is nice and foamy, you can kind of see in the bottom corner that it is. We're going to take 3 cups of flour, a tablespoon of salt, and typically right here would be where I would add the 1/2 cup of oil, but as you'll see here in a moment, I forgot. We're going to dump in our yeast mixture. Make sure you scrape the sides and get all that yummy stuff out of there. Put on my dough hook, and we are going to start to mix this. So right about, I think it's the first cup, extra cup. So in total, it'll be 6 cups of flour, and that is because, here's where I add the oil. This is a double loaf, so the recipe is to make 1 loaf. I double it so I can make 2 loaves. So once it's all combined, it looks a little something like this. We're going to let the mixer go for another 3 to 4 minutes until it looks a little something like so. We're going to stop it, take everything off the dough hook, remove the bowl and everything, and then we're going to leave this to sit on the counter for, the recipe does call for about 1.5 hours. I find with this yeast I use, so I just use the yeast from Costco, about half the time it takes, so about 45 minutes, doubled in size, and we're going to punch it down. Take out some of my mom rage on this dough and punch it down, and then we're going to dump it out onto a lightly floured surface. I'm going to knead it a little bit, nothing crazy, just enough to get it all combined, and then I am going to take my pizza cutter because I do not have a bench scraper, which I probably should get one, and we're going to split this in half because again we're making 2 loaves. So we're going to spray our loaf pans, and then I just stretch these into big rectangles, enough so that I can roll it up and plop it in the pan, and then we're going to let this sit for another 45 minutes to 1 hour in the pans till they are again doubled in size and look like this beautiful tap 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 tap. Bake it at 350 for 30 minutes, and when I pull them out fresh and hot, put some butter on there, and it is delicious. My kids and family have been loving this. Another homemade recipe I've been following, and I will link the Etsy store down below that I got this from along with her Facebook page. It's the Craftologist, but it's 1 can sweetened condensed milk, 2 cups of milk of your choice. I used half and half, and then 2 tablespoons of vanilla, teaspoons, not tablespoons, vanilla extract, and then 2 teaspoons of almond extract to make an Italian sweet cream creamer. I did add extra vanilla because my vanilla bottle was almost out. And this was delicious. So you just steam it. So this is on the lowest heat setting, and I just let it cook until it's combined. You don't want it to be hot. She says you should be able to finger your creamer and not burn. And then I just put it in the container, and it's good for about 2 weeks. Now we're into dinners. So this one is I think it's like chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese. I don't know. I did cut this recipe in half, so I did 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. I think the original recipe calls for milk, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and then measure to your heart's content with ranch dressing or ranch seasoning, and I think it's onion powder. And then it does call for like black pepper, but the kids and I were eating this, and I'm not a huge like black pepper fan, so that's what we went with. And then we are just going to combine all of this. This is our sauce, so to speak. And now I will say this recipe does not call for pasta, but I add pasta to give it more bulk. But we're going to take some chopped broccoli and just get it in a pan with some oil to get it nice and vibrant and green, soften it up. Add in the pre-cooked bacon bits. I did have somebody ask me if they're good. I love them. I heat them up a little bit, and they end up crisping up really good. Take some rotisserie chicken, add it to our pasta, add a cup-ish of cheese, add our veggies and our bacon bits, and then we're going to add our sauce, mix it all together, and till it's all combined, and then we're gonna put it in this sprayed 9x9 pan. Like I said, I did cut this recipe in half, so if it were the whole Fam Bam, I probably would have put it in a 9x13. But this honestly feeds a lot of us, and with the pasta it makes it really like hefty. So we're gonna put a smidgen more cheese on top, and then the funnest part about this is you take some potato chips and crunch them up, and then you put these on the top, and you're gonna bake this at, I think it's like 350 for 35 minutes, maybe 375, but it crisps up the chips, and it's really good. The kids love it. I love it. Typically I would cook the bacon, but I was being lazy this week and just decided to use the pre-made bacon bits. And then our other no dad dinner this week, this was $1 million spaghetti. I did do a double recipe so that I could send one of these with Cody for him to cook when he eats dinner. So we're going to take 2 pounds of ground beef, season it up with some garlic, salt, and some pepper. And we're basically going to just let that cook down, and then I am cooking pasta. I originally was going to do 1 bag of pasta, and then I thought better of it, and I ended up adding another one. We're going to dice up 1 medium-sized onion, and then the creamy stuff in the middle. So it's 1 block of cream cheese. I think for a double batch it should have been 2 blocks, but I only had 1. And then I ended up doing like a whole cup of sour cream, or basically whatever's left in this container. And then to make up for the lack of second cream cheese, I did add an entire 2 cups of cottage cheese. So this recipe does call for either cottage cheese or ricotta. I did the cottage cheese, number 1, because it's easier to get to, and number 2, the extra protein content. So once we get all of that together, we want to mix it. I will say it's much easier if your cream cheese is very soft and not as hard as mine was. I thought it was softened, it wasn't. So we're gonna add our onions and garlic. I'm at the end of my container, so we just measure garlic like so, like a seasoning, you know, you just dump it in there. And we're going to let this cook down until the onions are translucent. Then we're going to add sauce. So we're going to do 1 jar of sauce for the meat sauce and 1 jar of sauce for the pasta. Again, I did double this recipe. So normally it would be half the jar in the meat, half the jar in the pasta, but we doubled this. So that's how we're doing it, so we can make an extra. So then we're going to take 1/4 of the pasta, half of our creamy mixture, another 1/4 of the pasta, and then half of our meat sauce, and then we're going to layer it with cheese and bake it at, I think it's 350 for like 45 minutes, but I forgot to get an end shot of that. Anyway, my bonus recipe today is this fun little summertime snack. So you take watermelon and yogurt, typically Greek yogurt, I use vanilla, and then you just blend this up. And typically you should use like a food processor or blender or a Ninja, a bullet, something. I used my immersion blender because it was easy. So anyway, it's a great smoothie. You can also put it into popsicles. But friends, that's all she wrote. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Until next time, spread kindness like glitter.